In this presentation, we will generate, analyze, print, and export to Excel a sales by product or item report within QuickBooks Online. Here is our free test drive version for QuickBooks Online. We're going to go on down to the reports down below. We're taking a look at the reports, and note that the sales by product or item report is another supplementary report. We're going to be supporting information or numbers that are going to be on the profit and loss report. So let's start off by opening up the profit and loss report. We're going to open up the P&L, our favorite report, the financial statement report, or one of the two of them at least. We're going to right click up top and duplicate that. So I'm going to right click and duplicate the P&L, the profit and loss. And then we're going to change the dates up top, making those dates 01/01/19 to 12/31/19. Let's go ahead and run that report. Now we're looking at the sales by product or item report next, and that is going to be supporting the income number, the sales number. So we're still looking into this top line number, this income number. Now that has to do with the customers too, or the customers in the cycle. It has to do with basically the accounts receivable or sales or revenue cycle. So if we go back to our other reports, I'm going to go back to the first tab. We're going to go to the reports down below and see which report section this would be in. If we go into the favorite reports, it could be there if we work with it a lot. But then we're going to go down to the business overview that has the balance sheet information, the profit and loss information, the statement of cash flows, who owes you money. That deals with the reports that owe us money, typically accounts receivable, but that's in the right cycle at least. Then we're down here in the sales by customer, or sales and customer. That looks like it's going to be it because we're dealing with sales type numbers. So we're looking for sales by item item or product. Last time we did the sales by customer. This time we want the sales by customer by product or service detail. So we have the detailed report here, and we have the summary report. Once again, let's start off with a detailed report as we did last time for the sales by customer. We're then going to duplicate it. We're going to right click on the tab up top, and we will duplicate that tab. Then we're going to change the dates up top. So I'm going to scroll up top, and we want to change those we want it going from 01/01/19 to 12/31/19. We're going to go ahead and run that report. And then I'm going to close the hamburger to give us a bit more real estate. We're going to hold down control. I'm going to zoom up just a little bit because we're pretty short on room already, and that'll make it a little bit larger for us to see. So once again, we're given information. If you go down to the bottom line of this report, let's go down to the bottom line. We should be coming out, we're back to that 2,000 or 10,280. If I go to the profit and loss report, let's go to the profit and loss report. We have the 10,200. So it's that $80 off again, but notice it's basically supporting the income. So in other words, once again, we have the income line here, total income, and we want less detail on the profit and loss report. And we're going to support that now, not by breaking it out this time by customer as we did last time, but by item. What are we selling? Service items, the things we sell, the things that are going to populate the invoices and the sales receipts, and the service items or product items that we're going to sell. So same as we had before, you may be tempted when you're making your general ledger account to say, hey, I'd like to know the income that I have by the types of things that I sell. You might be tempted to make an income account by major, product that you sell or major service that you sell. And in some cases that might be appropriate, but no, generally you don't want to do that if you can group everything kind of into a general category, because what you want is have the profit and loss report have less detail in it. And if you need the more information by breaking out by the types of service or the inventory items that you're selling, then you're going to run the other report. And so you want to keep that in mind. You got to keep that in mind when you're making or constructing the general ledger to not try to put all the detail in separate GL accounts, or again, your GL accounts will get out of hand. You'll have a mess after a while of too many GL accounts. You want to simplify the GL accounts that will show up on the P&L report, and then use the supplemental reports to give you that more detail. In this case, giving more detail about this number and breaking it out by the things that we are selling. So if we go back up top, then you would think that this report would be generated given the fact that it's making the income accounts by the invoices and the sales receipts. So those are the things that are going to be driving this report, but it's going to be broken out not by who we sold things to, but by the types of things we sell. So we have design, landscaping, pest control. If I go back to the prior report and we go then to the prior tab, and we go down to sales down here within the sales tab to the left, and we go to the product and service tab, these are going to be the product items and the sales items in the product and service tab. And we'll sign up. So you'll note that these are the things that they're reporting. They are organizing the report, the sales by product or service that we're looking at. They're organizing that report by these items. These items then are going to be what shows up on an invoice. So in other words, if you were to create an invoice or a sales receipt, you would have to use the items or the products or services that would then be listed, that we would have listed here. And so the invoice then would then include these items, and those items are what are driving out the breakout of the report that we're looking at. I'm back to our sales by product and service detailed report. So that's going to be our information. Let's then go to the other report, which is going to be the summary report. So let's go to the sales by product service summary, and then we'll print that one out. So I'm going to go back to the prior tab. I'm going to close this back out. I'm going to then go to the reports down below again, and we're going to scroll back down to the reports that we want. So we're back in the reports. Then we have the favorite reports, the overview reports, the who owes you reports, the sales by customer. That's the one we want. We're in here somewhere. It's going to be in here somewhere, I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive. So we have the sales by customer. We want the sales by product service, and we want the summary this time, the summary reports. That's the one we want. I'm going to select that item. I'm going to copy the report once again, as is our custom. So I'm going to right-click the tab up top and duplicate that tab. We'll change the dates up top. Going to make it from 01/01/19 to 12/31/19, and then run that report. And then I'm going to close the hamburger. Going to make it a little bit larger, holding down Control and scrolling up a little bit, so it's a little bit larger. And of course, this will give us the information with less detail. We don't see all the invoices in it. It's going to break it down and just give us the totals by basically the things that we sell and the services that we sell. We get down to that same bottom line number, the 10,280. So if we went back to our prior report, it's basically, once again, if we were to kind of collapse all these items, we're getting less detail on it rather than breaking out all the invoices here. The bottom line number, however, is that 10,280. Let's go ahead and print and export the summary report. Let's do our traditional kind of formatting to it. So we're going to customize the report. We're going to remove the pennies. We're going to then make the negative numbers bracketed and red. Then I'm going to scroll on down to the header and footer section. I'm going to remove the date prepared, the time prepared, the report basis, then run that report again. And let's just check that it has done those things. The things we have said it to do, it has done. So now we could then obviously email this report to somebody, but we're going to have multiple reports now. We could print it as a PDF file and then either attach multiple files or zip the files. I'm going to print it to the Qt PDF printer because I think it's good practice to use the Qt PDF printer. I just like doing that. I think it's a good tool to have. So we're going to go ahead and print this. We're going to print it to the Qt PDF printer. I do recommend having some kind of PDF printer. Very useful tool, not just for QuickBooks. We're then going to be printing this, and it's going to ask us where do you want to put it. And we're going to put it into, I'm going to say this is where we want it to go in the other reports. I'll put it into other reports here. And this is called, I believe it was called the sales by product or service. I hope I spelled that right, but if I did not, I apologize. We're going to close that back out. Then I'm going to close this back out. Then we're going to print this or export it. We are now exporting. We're going to select the export. We're going to export it to Excel. We're going to add it to our other Excel reports that we have exported. There it is. Let's see if it fits on a page by going to the page layout view. So I go to the page layout view, and then I can say, yeah, it does. It's fitting on a page. That's good news. So then I'm going to open up our other report that we've been putting all the reports on that we would like to add this one to. So I'm going to pull this one over, and that's the one we want. I want to add it here. I'm going to add a new tab at the bottom. We're going to add a new tab down below. Then I'm going to go back to our new report. Here's the new report. I'm going to select the entire thing, but you can either select the triangle up top, or you can use Control A, and then you can either right-click and copy or Control C, Then we're going to go on back to where we want to put it. You got to put it in A1 because if I don't, for example, if I try to paste it here, it'll say, whoa, I copied it again. Sorry about that. I'm going to copy it again. Right click and copy, and then back over here. If I try to paste it here, then it's not going to let me. I got to be in A1 or select the entire thing, and then I can paste, and it should be okay with that. And then I'm going to double click on this, and it's going to say we want the sales by product, something like that. Then I'm going to print this whole thing with these 3 reports on it. So we're going to go to the File tab up top. We're going to print this whole thing with the 3 reports to the Qt PDF printer. We want the entire workbook. So we're going to print the entire workbook, which now consists of 3 pages and 3 reports. Then we're going to go ahead and print that. It's going to ask us where do we want to put it again. And we'll say, where do we want to put it? I'm going to put it back in to the prior tab, the 4 here. It's going to be overwriting the other reports because now we've added a report to the other reports. And so we want to change that one and make it have the 3 reports rather than the 2. And it should have put it here now so we can give this information to somebody. Now we have 3 reports. We can attach 3 reports, which isn't too bad. But we can also zip that file if we put it in a file and zip it, because then we can attach the zipped file in an email, which is probably nicer. And then we can give an Excel file if we want to, or we can give the PDF file, and the PDF file should now have 3 reports within it. So there's our 3 reports within the PDF file.